Nakasalenya, welcome to International Women's Day, Pohnpei International Women's Day 2024. Muna tayo katulangan daulawan kutungata. Ako na yung mele diyan charity o ya na tayo sa karata. Iyang mo kasalenya. Kuya program and run and diyan sampa Pohnpei Patriya diyan sampa dan barwatch Uwe bangsa kita na wewe ay menjiyang ki uya acay juan kasam macay pwede ka na jiyang ki nung acay sa karataan kay pwede yung wow kang presa acay coach kay pwede yung wow kang presa repsuan kung payo wow na kang prensyonan kan ko. Wawang kisap naman sekat nan kaniyeng nan kaniyeng ko. Wawang kay tilakalap and kaliyan siya bumotso government, the national, state, o local government kan. Wawang di embassy kan, nagathan siya UN organization kan. With me intergovernmental organization, non-governmental organization ka. Winanili, magulapun, medikailap, may anaki anachoror, od, li, manakap, pinakap, uirailakan, may pachay na live stream, may kapese kan, mas din Pohnpei, kalangan o kasalenya. Ay so kusep, chay din, perchunata sa mga chay, kasarawi, ben, Rana diyan samba, diyan Pohnpei Patriya, ay ben bagi William diyan Mercedes kan, and kap William Charity, o wiya na ulawan kucingata, ay ben duwe Justice, and monong ko kumayo and yay Chief Justice Antonia Amor Primo Moses, word man.
Kailangan ng kumulong si ang suksep ang katawan ulian charity o pergi kawitin kauno o may I ask that we all stand and hold that? Patriya ulian tayo cover. Kasi dilihan ay pot na saraw. Kailangan ng kupurar, pwede yakin yung kupurar yung kita ranward. Sengkak pat pwede na perawad kuya cuman kom merebut yung kupurar yung kita. Ay so set right down. Lepas cuman ulian di korek. Merpatra bang kukuran kapina ay sukset. So yan tuan kara-kara dan saban iyan bit at saban mar. Erbit pasal patrawan kapinwar keran wat nanarena tahu yang korau. Pina sewotra implement kuriante di korus. Oh ya tuan saban mar kapin. Pwede niyang kasinaikan ng mga paratasangit, bensangot lang mula sa wasin rawat ang kailangan ng report.
Nasa Pinachay program, di pasang nyo, nakansang Kapitan Pohnpei, the Honorable Stevenson A. Joseph. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to let's all join together in welcoming the Honorable Stevenson A. Joseph, the Governor of the State of Pohnpei. Let's give him a big round of applause.
Kawanan ko may lupa. Sa karata kapacapan siya. Kung asan sa karata, ay ko na kapag wow na lupa. Kuya child dear sa karata niya. Meron ito kayo kawan watch. Kaluluwa ko may Pohnpei. Sa pagmamarong yung nakalamakan sa India, government, At this time, I would like to join the Pohnpei Women's Council and all the Women's Association and recognize and extend our gratitude and welcome to Her Excellencies, Ambassador from Australia and Ambassador from the United States of America. Thank you for joining this very important occasion. Ibig man wow niki, Melet Pohnpei, President of Women's Council, the Pohnpei Women's Council, Mrs. Musashi, Chris Musashi. Wow niki, kaunin di kan parusia, ugyaw kita, Pohnpei Women's Council. Jowa kan parusia, jen parusia mo, parusia. Melet di man order say to my vote. Dr. Raina Garstan, kailangan ng loob na yung biyang sa karatang kasamo Russia, yung China Tibet kasamo Ambassador Lyria and Pajan China Language. Lyria and sang wikaw riyaw kamera ng kapag sawas kalwa away. Sa pagmamay ang mga itsyon, totoo, masanting totoo. Menulianti meron ngayon kami na government of Pohnpei o kasama pa Russia. I would like to, on behalf of the Pohnpei State Government, welcome everyone, most especially you, Your Excellencies, First Lady, all the members of the Women's Council, especially Madam President, Amy Musashi. I was just saying that this very important occasion marks another year of commemorating, celebrating Women's International Day. As you may know, has become a legal holiday in Pohnpei. If I am not mistaken, this is our second year in celebrating this very important day. I think Pohnpei is very well in advance from the other states in terms of recognizing women, especially their rights and recognizing the issues that they face today. And with that, I would like to perhaps give my 2 cents worth of what I believe as governor that we should be doing going forward. Ikamera naman, sa pagmatsyari yung ganun, kaya hindi ka, government natin, kaya tayo doon, mausang ka. Government pa, pangkasan. Diyan, wallet, kawitan mo yung gamit sa kawitan. Dahil lapit na pagdali. Diyan niya, confidential. Ikamera lang kumain, uwiya sa pagmamay sa pagdali lang yun. Chupa na yung mga president ng right man kay niya. Kagsturan, kagsuturan, kagsuturan. Tapalan, maasin ito pa siya siya. Pajuan kas-kasalata yung kung dami iman pajuan na rin ansuri pa ko sa dari example ke semua itu Spain semua Spain lah so what's Silman kaya ke punya pintai dengan sih apa tujuan itu dami men pajuan kung di biarkan apa program sawasakan di Australia. Imederan and Captain Sansan with that. The answer may much survey like Kakuya, Iraisa Kaira Navaka. The gate the survey land was Subay and Sansan, there was a welcome. I think the government, the Kapela Muslim, Masayu, Berbanka, and Kawarpa. And it is our Patuan kamera na may kakumalis ko siya. pina government ba Pohnpei o pensyon niya kaway sa Philippine troops and social affairs pa dyan o may kasi payaw tawag pero kasi nito yan na nagkakaroon na kuya and then sa was pukats and kakbiyan ang sukos we ride ba bagong chubong susunod na kapoy iwasan o bagong kachunan ang kabela iyaso mo may kakawin ba sa pagmamay plan ito o pagpawin mo naman dyan ngayon may kakatuan ang plan ang kasalit at dito sa Yes, na pinili bago yan. Irubukas pa para tapong di chancellor payments. Ako na kasainsan, kaya ang kailangan na mau i-ride sirikan, disrepaint paano siya ang proseso. Pagkala na kosan diyan bilang tangan natin sense. Yes, tama ba ang yawin? May bago isang kapagwat, ay yes mo sa ibang wala yan. Yes mo sa ibang alias awas. Yes, dami pa na namin yung siya mo naman sa yung information ko namin kareta kasi o iba kawiyawi yan so may plano sa nila sa mga strategic plan pag may kita o iba yung biya masakan ko na yung biya na stage of that teacher ba na uso ng kanyang chumata augmented reality. Going forward, I think stronger and more strengthening collaboration between non-government organizations and the state governments needs to be existing. I believe that if this partnership is strengthened, initiatives that are done at the community levels can be done and treated in a more comprehensive and more effective manner. While money is just a very government obligation for which essence if the talk in government is a very obligation then was habis isang kuwi mo sa ano was ang government obligation diya o kasi kataya and when choosing government na pamilya may kataya ng talent yun sa to i-vision range mo lang yung i-value niya then siya yung i-able yung council deal ng government. These are the kind of collaboration that I look forward to in working with, and I will do my best to give my support, whatever, in terms of advice, technical assistance, financial, whatever it takes, to take your programs to a level where it's on the ground and running. And we are fortunate, we have two Madam Ambassadors here, and I believe you can definitely assist in guiding Pohnpei also going forward and how they should put their programs together and really put something on the ground that is very clear to victims, especially our young girls and their children, whatever situations they come across that will affect their lives, that they will know very clearly where to go to and what kind of assistance and what their role is. I'm just encouraging the Women's Council to put all these information into the solution and put forward to the government for consideration and take a part. So, I mentioned, you got Madam Brilliant document sa congratulations on Captain Ulatag pa for my post. Totoo, dak, may kacil wasakan may kacil pagdami ay kalingahan sa government may ganito may kacil kasi magbiyak sa kapos kailangan
Siyempre, kacil ang kabila yung kapag-apat Kuya Pia, sama-sama nakachan-chan which sangwe jojo kaya ipagita ipagpagi dame MC bang sa was kaya ng kapsu kay bagban way kay bagban Pohnpei before they say yung sabdan yung masajay ka na ipabawiyaw ka na kailangan din kapila masin ililid ka somewhat na program in our program, we made a switch, minor change this morning. The keynote address will be delivered during the March 8th International Women's Day. So if I may, I will proceed with a bit of a history on the annual report on what the Pohnpei Women Council has done over the years, for a few years. Pohnpei Pohnpei State Legality, the Pohnpei State International Women's Day, Amelen Aponem, Melen Yen Brand, Kasaban, Chumasakatan, Wong Kumodan Wawan Pohnpei, Honorable Governor Joseph, Lieutenant Governor and the Ministry of Jai, First Lady, thank you for joining us today. Joseph Wong, Akadakadong, Speaker Yamauchi, members of the 11th Pohnpei State Legislature, Chief Justice Joseph, yung isang bungkan, Mayor in Colonia Town, yung local Chief Executive ka, William Bachay ng Congress, Honorable Australian Ambassador, or represent Madam Ambassador Joe Cowley, and members of your delegation who are here today. The Honorable Madam Ambassador, he was Ambassador to the FSM, Honorable Ambassador Jennifer Johnson, and U.S. Embassy staff who are also here with us today. Thank you for joining us. President and Queen Akan members and Pohnpei Women Council, NGO kan nakajan jay non-backward kahit Pohnpei Women Council legality ang Pohnpei State International Women's Day. So look, we are when Tokonoy Pohnpei, Guarusian, not just Pohnpei Women Council. Right, wala ka nagpapajan jay kalangan na may patroto. So, yan, patro and kak, so what, lalo, luway, when kak sa isang ambassador, the pageant from what, so as the governor stated earlier, this year marks the second-year anniversary of state law number 10L-75-22. This was signed into law. This law declaring March 8 as Pohnpei International Women's Day. It was signed into law by Governor Oliver on February 22nd, 2022. This year's theme, the Arala, is Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress. This is a time for celebrating the social, economic, cultural and political achievements of women. It is important to understand and to ensure the needs, the interests, and aspirations of women and girls are valued and included, especially in our local system. This year's International Women's Day celebration will include, or have included since we started last week, workshops and trainings on important issues. Issues such as gender equality, health, climate change, environment, gender-based violence, of course, victims, safety and security, safety of victims, access to justice. We will be hearing scholarship opportunities, lending and financing opportunities by the banks, transshipment within REZ, health coverage by MyCare. On Saturday, the Pohnpei Women Council, for the first time, showcased traditional knowledges through cooking, using of local ingredients, weaving, lei making. This has been done in the past, but the presentation showcasing the different local herbs that are useful and valuable to our health. This is, my understanding, is the first time that we have attempted and very successfully was able to do this. These are local herbs, local medicine, local leaves for consumption, for bathing, for hair for hair, for the hair, for the skin. There were local herbs that were good for diabetics, for cancer, for intestinal organs, and for many others. And I would really like to say thank you, Kalangan, to the women, the individuals, the groups that willingly came forward to share these very important, very sacred gifts to the public. We value these gifts. Pohnpei Women Council is working closely with the International Organization for Migration, IOM, who captured some photos and the local ingredients so that we can print this in a booklet, and that will be one of the outputs of the International Women's Day this year. On Wednesday and Thursday last week, the Pohnpei Women Council worked on its next 5-year strategic action plan. And as you will note on the program, the agenda is fully loaded from today until the 8th. We are still receiving requests from organizations to join. Therefore, the program is subject to change as we value everyone's presentations and we will do our best to accommodate everyone. 2 years ago, we started what we call the Inspirational Women, to promote women that are from each group, each community, or each municipality, sees this person, this woman, as a role model. This year again, we are continuing this. So this person carries the reign of inspirational women representing her group, or municipality, or her community. There are no age requirements. There are no educational requirements. The selection is made from that individual group. Like I said, this is a selected person who is a role model in that community. We are honored, very honored, to promote these women. All of us here are inspired by our community, by our families. So thank you. The one that will be named as the 2024 International Women, Inspirational Women for 2024 will be based on participation. Participation of the individual organizations, registered groups under the Pohnpei Women Council from day 1 to day 8. So it's important when you come in, please do sign in, remember to sign in. The judges who will be judging are, for the record, non-Pohnpei Women Council members. So there is no bias, no discrimination. These are members, judges who are knowledgeable on our events and activities, have lived here for many years. So again, I do want to join the governor in welcoming everyone. Thank you to our ambassadors, US, Australia, for joining us for this year's International Women's Day. We really value the work, appreciate the assistance that both governments have rendered, not just to the state of Pohnpei, but to FSM as a whole, and particularly to us women. Since you became ambassadors to the FSM, we have been invited to functions that you host. You have hosted events and supported our government, our nation in so many ways, in terms of scholarship, in terms of training, especially on victim support. So the list just goes on, and we really, on behalf of the Pohnpei Women Council, I would like to say, Kalanga, thank you so much for all the help that you've done. I learned on Friday when I received an email from the staff of the Australian embassy that says you are cordially invited to, and it says the farewell reception for Ambassador Howdy. And I had to pause for a minute because usually you're invited to celebrate. Yet that was really sad, and I can't think who was it from the embassy that said, and I replied, I said, I would respectfully attend, but very sad. So thank you, Ambassador Colin, for all that you've done. We will certainly miss you, and we do look forward to the new ambassador, and we hope that the relationship that we have built over the years will continue. This is similar with the U.S. ambassador. The ambassadors come and they go, and when they leave, you know, you have this personal attachment that you've already built through the years that you're here. So it will be very sad for us to see you leave, but we hope that Pohnpei will remain as your second home, and that you can at any time visit, not necessarily as an ambassador, but even as a tourist. You know that you are welcome at any time. This is your second home. So thank you very much. I will reserve the annual report, or what we've accomplished after the tea break. But at this time, like I said, the program is subject to change because of the full schedule, and some are requesting to switch time. But with all due respect, if I may, at this time, I would like to ask Ambassador Johnson if you could deliver your remark at this time. Please welcome the U.S. Ambassador to the MSM, the Honorable Ambassador Jennifer Johnson.
Good morning, Casa Lilia. It is so wonderful to be here celebrating International Women's Day week with all of you. Thank you so much, Emmy and the Pohnpei Women's Council, for this invitation. I'm really thrilled to be here. My family and I had such a good time on Saturday at the Colonia Gym. We got to learn a lot about the local medicinal herbs, and one of my daughters got to make a couple of the lays, and we sampled some really delicious food. So what a great event, thank you. The range of skills and crafts and activities that the women in Pohnpei are engaging in is truly remarkable. Before I continue, let me pay my respects to our traditional leaders, the caretakers of this beautiful land, Governor Joseph, First Lady, Dr. Ina Garsing, Ambassador Kelly, and most importantly, all of you, all of the women, especially those leading community organizations. This is for you. Empowering women and promoting gender equality is one of the top priorities of the United States government worldwide, and it's one of my personal top priorities. You see, I grew up in a small town in New York State, and I was next to a town called Seneca Falls. I don't know if you've ever heard of Seneca Falls, but it's somewhat famous in the United States because it's the birthplace of women's rights in the United States. And growing up, I used to hear stories about Susan B. Anthony and Elizabeth Cady Stanton and other American giants in the fight for the women's right to vote and all sorts of women's rights issues. So I became passionate about gender equality from a very young age. We would have to write essays in junior high school and high school, and I would always pick one of these famous women who said, I want to be just like them, strong woman someday. And a few months ago, I had the opportunity to go with several of you to Koshrai for the FSM's Women's Conference. And we discussed topics like gender-based violence, healthcare challenges, climate change, women's economic empowerment, And I'm so glad to see that these conversations are continuing, and you're going to touch on many of them again this week. The theme of International Women's Day 2024 is Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress. And I could not agree more. Progress for women benefits us all. So how can we work together to invest in women? We've all heard the saying, it takes a village to raise a child. I would agree that it takes a village to support, empower, and invest in women. No one can succeed alone, and that includes me. Many of my professional and personal achievements would not have been possible without the strong pillars of support that I rely on. From my husband, to my mom and sister, to the friends and bosses that believed in me. I don't mean to diminish my own contributions, but really, I would not have been able to balance work and family without all the help and constant support from my network. My husband picks up most of the work at home, and he's an outstanding father. My girlfriends are my sounding board. I go to them to ask advice on almost everything. My mentors and my sponsors pushed me to apply for jobs that I never thought I could get. And I'm here with you now because of that. So I encourage everyone, men and women, to see how you can help invest in the success of women around you. The pressure on women to take care of the older generation, to take care of the younger generation, it often leaves so little time to really pursue their own goals. If you see a woman with a great business idea, see what she needs to get started. Someone did that for Taylor Swift, and look how she ended up. If you see a woman who struggles to prepare the family's meals because she's at work all day outside the home, help by taking on some of the cooking duties to relieve her a little bit. If you have a child or an elderly family member who needs to go to doctor's appointments, set up a rotating system so it isn't the same female relative that always has to take that person every time. And don't forget moral support, which I know you are all great at. But encourage women to go outside their comfort zone and apply for that dream job. Advocate for herself and really take a risk and follow those dreams. Because when women prosper, we all prosper. Last week, I had a meeting with the non-resident ambassador from the Philippines to the FSM. And we discussed bringing different trainers to the FSM to teach specific skills that entrepreneurs could use to kickstart their businesses. Whatever the need could be, pastry chef, hairdresser, manicure, pedicure, masseuse, hospitality, mechanic, say the word. If there is a skill that you think someone in the community could benefit from, and we could fly in a trainer for a few weeks and give them some sort of starter kit to kick off their business, let us know. We are really open to this idea and would love to help if you have ideas on how we kick someone off on the right foot. Another opportunity that I'd like to highlight, the Changing Faces Women's Leadership Seminar. This is put on in Honolulu by the East-West Center. And there's an open call for women innovators and business leaders to build their entrepreneurial leadership skills. And my wish is really for some of you here today to apply for this and attend, go to Honolulu, and then come back and share what you've learned with other aspiring women leaders. The applications are open through this Friday, and we have a link to it on our Facebook site for the U.S. Embassy. But if you're interested in learning more, I'd be happy to talk to you about it. I also received some really good news last week that I'd like to share. As many of you know, the United States reserves spots in some of our prestigious military academies. This is like West Point, the Naval Academy, Coast Guard Academy, all places that I would never be able to get into because it's that prestigious and that difficult. But we reserve some slots for FSM students, and it's really an unbelievable opportunity. These students get an amazing education, free tuition, free housing, a stipend, and then they can come back. They must come back to the FSM, which is even better, because then they can share this leadership knowledge that they've come up with. And for the first time this year, when I saw the list, all 5 nominees are accomplished young women. It was great to see. They're truly breaking barriers, and I believe they're going to go on to do great things. So bring it back to the States. Later today, First Lady of the United States, Dr. Jill Biden, and Secretary of State Anthony Blinken plan to honor 12 extraordinary women from around the world in their International Women of Courage Award. Since 2007, the United States has given this award to over 190 women from 90 countries who have dedicated their lives and careers to the promotion of peace, prosperity, and the empowerment of women and girls. To conclude, because I know I'm standing between you and a tea break, the United States is truly committed to the empowerment and the well-being of women around the world. And we regularly provide, as Emmy mentioned, funding and training and other forms of support in the FSM for women, working with the national and state governments and our international partners. But we're always looking to do more. So if you have ideas, or if you see a specific need, please let me or my team know. We really do want to work together and do as much as we can. We want to help. As your partner, we look forward to supporting the FSM in your initiatives to improve the lives, work, health, and future of women and girls. So let's do this together. Let's invest in women, and let's accelerate progress. Thank you.
Kanangalan ng Ambassador Johnson Chen Kapram at PMAO na po na po. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, let us please join me in welcoming the Australian Ambassador to the FSM, the Honorable Ambassador Joe Colley.
My respects to all the traditional leaders here today, across the land of Pohnpei, on whose land we meet today. I acknowledge the Honourable Governor. It's great to see you, and First Lady as well. I acknowledge Her Excellency, Jennifer Johnson, Ambassador of the US to the FSM. And great speech, by the way. That is a very hard act to follow, but I will do my best. And I acknowledge in particular, of course, Pohnpei Women's Council, to Emmy, the President, and all of her members, and say thank you for putting on today's event and for all the energy and the work that all of you are doing to make this week, undoubtedly it will be a great week. And I join Ambassador Johnson in saying that Saturday was very, enjoyable as well. I went with my husband and we ate things that we had never eaten before. I think I have some new favourite dishes, and they involve yam and fish, traditional medicines, and it just made me think, we have so much to learn from you. And I don't just say that as a token comment, I really do. And there was discussion about think it was Lucille making, and you'll be making the toffee, and that when you were young with the toffee, you put the toffee, we put toffee in the banana leaf and walk around and suck on that all day and everything. And I thought, well, that is just kind of a bit like my childhood too, but we had paper and things that weren't recyclable or disposable, you know, or biodegradable. And so there again, you wasted nothing, you know, in the sorts of things that you eat and your, you know, your practices. And again, I just thought, you know, there's nothing we can't tell you about sustainability and environmental preservation. So that was great fun. And let me just finish by saying, ladies and gentlemen, and all of the other participants here today, thank you for asking me to speak. It's a great pleasure to be here at International Women's Day 2024 in Pohnpei. And I would like to start by reaffirming Australia's absolute commitment to gender equity and the empower of women and girls in the FSM and the Pacific more broadly. We know that the 2024 theme is Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress. And let's face it, that should be a theme for every day and every year, not just once every now and then. So how do we invest in women? Well, you have already heard two very eminent speakers, the Honourable Governor and Her Excellency, talk about the ways that they can invest in women. Heard about stronger partnerships between government and civil society. Looking at the material impacts on victims of gender-based violence, improving their situation. And we've heard about how you can invest in women's skills and economy. And to me, I just felt like there's enough passion and commitment at this table and in this room to make, you know, anything happen, I believe. In short, what we're all saying, and I think we all agree, is that investing in women is good for families, it is good for communities, it's good for the economy, and therefore it is good for the nation. So how do we invest in women? We've already heard a number of ways that we can do that. But in general, we're talking about by providing women and girls with access to good jobs and equal pay. Now, let me tell you, equal pay is something that does not exist in very many places in the world, including in my own country. Equal pay for equal work. We can invest in women by prioritising women's health and safety. Women's health, investing in it saves lives. It supports families, it supports communities. We can invest in women by investing in women's resilience and the important role that they play during disasters and recovering from disasters. We know that they are impacted the most, and we know that their role is crucial in communities rehabilitating after disasters have happened. We can provide opportunities for education and training. Importantly, we can invest in women by changing the way we think, changing mindsets, not just of ourselves, but also our families, the men in our community, changing the way we work to allow women to participate. That's how women are getting into the workforce, by understanding that they have babies, they have family responsibilities. How can you make it work? Or a woman wants to, or by necessity needs to work. How can we make it work for her and not just make her fit to the old ways of doing things? We can invest in women by educating boys, men, and communities, and by recruiting male champions. And again, I acknowledge the Honourable Governor and congratulate you as clearly a male champion for women in this room and in the state. We know that doing these things pays dividends for everyone. And I acknowledge all the people in Pohnpei, in government and in the communities, in your legislatures, who are actively investing in your women and girls. Now, I saw a lot of the passion and the ideas on display at the National Women's Conference last year. As Ambassador Johnson has mentioned, you are all amazing. And can I just also make an offer like the Ambassador Johnson has made, is that we are ready to help. We have resources. We're interested in talking to women's groups and community groups about a whole range of issues, about women's safety, and that is something that we're particularly focused on at the moment, how to provide information for women who are victims of gender-based violence, or women who are looking for information about their health. Is there one place they can go where they can get a lot of this information? We're really interested in supporting that, and we're interested in working with as many partners in Pohnpei as possible. All the women's groups, all the community groups. And in fact, working in coalitions means that you have a broader impact of the activities that we can support. And that is our preference, to work with as many of you as possible. And I also should say that as a partner of the FSM, and I'm not putting words in Ambassador Johnson's mouth, but the Americans, the UN organisations, the others here, we don't want to be competitive about this, about like it's just us, you know, and just them. We are happy to work together, to work with you, to pool our resources, to sit down around one big table, to say, ask what your priorities are, and to work out how we can pool our resources and work together to do this. As I mentioned, Australia is absolutely committed to investing in FSM women and girls, and for over a decade Australia has been proud to support gender equality and social inclusion initiatives in the FSM, and to pursue local solutions to local challenges. Last year at the National Women's Conference, I announced that Australia was making small competitive grants available to each FSM state to advance the status of women and girls in their state. So the application for those grants have now been assessed by a panel. And today I would really like to announce the successful recipient of the FSM Women's Small Grants for the state of Pohnpei. So I'm very pleased to say that we're making the sum of up to $20,000 available to a partnership between the US Veterans of Pohnpei Association and the Micronesian Legal Services Corporation. So that funding is for a proposal to educate young people on gender bias and its connection to gender-based violence. And I'd like to recognise any members of the Veterans Association in the room today, and also I believe Daniel from Micronesian Legal Services is also here. So congratulations to you. Now, a little bit about this project. It builds on previous work undertaken by the Micronesian Legal Services organisation. The previous work was focused on high schools and also done with support from Australia. So this new chapter will focus on students from the College of Micronesia as well as on church and community groups. And I want to read you a little bit of what they put in their application. So in the application from the Veterans Associations and Micronesian Legal Services, they said this: educating every member of the community will be vital in reducing domestic violence and changing social norms. They said, if we can effectively convey the importance of gender equality to these youths, who will be tomorrow's leaders, then we may see change. Prevention is our best hope. So I convey my congratulations and respects again to both of those organisations and all of their members. I think it's a fine example of investing in women and communities. And I'd like to thank all the organisations who competed for those grants, or who thought about competing for the grants. I encourage you to keep your ideas and your passion alive and stay tuned for future funding opportunities. Now, I think that seems like an appropriately high and optimistic note to finish on, so I will finish now by saying Milana once again, and thank you to you all.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Kali, for an inspirational speech. Kailangan dyan private kiyang Ambassador I believe that things happen for reasons. And regarding the grant, the 20,000 grant, the Pohnpei Women Council was we worked with Caroline Indonesia to put together a proposal. And like you said, we shouldn't be competing with one another, but instead to complement. I had no idea that MNFC and the Veterans Association were also competing for that grant. However, I provided all the information necessary to Patrick Lang, and then I had to go off island for another conference hosted by the Guam Coalition Against Sexual Assault and Domestic Violence. Again, similar to this year's theme, they were focusing on victims of gender-based violence and domestic violence. So when I came back, it slipped my mind, and then I was going through my calendar. I said, the deadline has passed. Did we submit? So I contacted Lang and I said, how is that application? And he said, oh, I'm sorry to say, but we did not submit because I guess we did not submit something, or he needed more information or something to that nature. But, and surprisingly, I just said, okay, thank you. And in my mind, I said, I hope that there is a group from Pohnpei that applied. Because whoever gets it, I hope, whoever applies, I hope that they receive it. And I would like to join Ambassador Kali and the Australian government actually to congratulate the Legal Services and the Veterans Association of Pohnpei. The Veterans Association of Pohnpei members, the women members, are actually members of Pohnpei Women Council. And I don't know whether you know, but Dadali is a veteran herself. So let's give them a big round of applause. We look forward to working closely with NLSC. Now, those of you who are in tune and have internet and social media, let me just share this with you. This is Legal Services. So, a week ago, Berno and I received an informal invitation by the directing attorney of Legal Services, Attorney Lee, and Donnelly, and they said, come, let's have lunch. I've known them for many years, so let's have lunch at Mangrove. So Berta and I went to have lunch. And so while we were eating, the directing attorney, Lee, says, pull out his cell phone and said, I'm going to interview you right now. I said, regarding what? He says, this is on International Women's Day. And both Berno and I said, we were invited here for lunch, not to be interviewed. And by the way, we're not dressed for interview, we're not ready. And he goes, no, you're natural. That's how it should be, just impromptu. And so we were eating, and I said, hold on, I've got the food in front of me. So he sort of like dragged my food away from him, and then pointed the camera. And for those of you who really paid attention, you'll notice that even the position, I didn't realize he had already pressed record, and he was already starting to ask questions. And at some point I realized that he was serious, so I kind of turned. And if you notice, there was something in my mouth because I was still eating. I was chewing something. So that's our collaboration work with Legal Services. And then he pointed the camera at Berno and started asking questions as well. But basically he was asking what the activities were for International Women's Day. I had to pause for a minute to really focus and start going. And I think I said all I was able to tell him what the schedule was. And then he pointed the camera again, the cell, to Berno and started asking questions as well. Who are you? And what is your position? And So to Donnelly's surprise, he turned the camera to Donnelly and said, "So what's legal services role on this?" So putting Donnelly on the spot, meaning he was basically saying, what is legal services role in this International Women's Day celebration? Like I said, I think things happen for a reason. So no, that alone, he says, "Oh, I'm going to put this on, post it on the MNSC website, you know." A day after, I received an email saying, "By the way, you already received 7,000 views." I said, "Wow, we're famous." I have no idea how powerful this is. That was within 24 or 48 hours, there were 7,000 views. I don't know how many now. I guess we should do a fundraising and say if we hit the 1 million, that MNSC should provide some funding to International Women's Day next year to the Pohnpei Women Council. But I wanted to share that because that's how we collaborate. Informally, not necessarily in the office, and not expecting that you will be filmed or videoed and become famous within 48 hours. But thank you to Legal Services. And I said, well, that's good. That's sort of like the heads up first notice of what we're having, what we're going to be doing. The Pohnpei radio program, you know, we have to follow protocol. And until we meet with the traditional leaders, nothing can go on air. So we waited. But it was the Legal Services clips that kind of set the base on International Women's Day moving forward. So again, thank you to Dominic, thank you to your boss. Although I was kind of, at first, not sure what was going on, but I can say now that I do truly appreciate that unexpected interview. So thank you again. Thank you to Ambassador Cowley. Thank you to Ambassador Johnson, Kalangan, and Kapitan First Lady. I hope you stay with us. We will break now for 10-15 minutes. We have tea here. I do, on behalf of the council, would like to thank Ambassador Cowley, the U.S. Embassy. There are some pastries in the back that she donated. And this is part of the fundraising that we're doing. And I must tell you that it hit here, and before you know it, it's already been prepaid. So the proceeds we receive will go toward the expenses that we're getting. And so again, we will have a short break. And we respectfully request, Governor, if you could also expedite the process of funding that we understand the city has been approved. So we will end up being in debt by the end. So, Kanalan, and thank you, First Lady, for joining us. Shine Waitem, Governor, First Lady, and Ambassadors. Please help yourself with the coffee, tea, and morning tea that we have. And any questions you want to ask the ambassadors, this is the best time. Or banner, our banner is up. If you want to take pictures, this is also a good time to do so. Morning tea, 15 minutes. Great. With our afternoon, after snacks this morning, we do have a IOM, International Organization for Migration.
Mr. Daniel McNamara, the program.
Thank you. Gentlemen of the man. IOM has been a great partner and support for the Pohnpei Women Council. And if you recall, on Saturday, Ivy, who was the lady that was videoing and filming the presentations of traditional knowledge and cooking, she also was from the IOM office. So thank you for joining us this morning. You missed the morning opening ceremony. We had the ambassadors here, as well as the governor. And we're running ahead of schedule. So I stated earlier this morning that the program is subject to change. So we're kind of moving, shoving things. At this time, I would like to, on behalf of the Pohnpei Women Council, I'll give a brief overview on what the council has done over the years. And our presentations are all mixed because we have a diversity in culture, nationalities here. So you will hear me speak Pohnpeian, English, maybe other languages as well. My prayer ay report na sa what and God name to your wife when God says that. Most women here to understand English. So again, Pohnpei Women Council, for benefit of those who just joined us this year. Pohnpei Women Council is the umbrella organization for all the women here in Pohnpei. We are a non-governmental organization, and there are over, in terms of membership, there are 31 groups, registered groups, but in terms of membership, individuals, there's over 2,000 of us. So you're looking at one of the biggest organizations, the umbrella organizations of Pohnpei. So I'd like to, again, on behalf of Pohnpei Women Council, thank the Office of the State Governor for allowing the Pohnpei Women Council and NGO to take the lead for this year's International Women's Day. And as you know, March 8th is a Pohnpei state legal holiday. Now, in the past years, the Pohnpei Women Council organizes all the events in celebration of International Women's Day. And since March 8th now has become a legal holiday, it was signed into law 2 years ago by former governor of state, Pohnpei State Governor Oliver, February of 2022. Pohnpei Women Council, with in collaboration of other NGOs and other organizations such as the UN organizations, IOM, SPC, have joined together in partnership and collaboration with the state government in continuing the support our national and the state government to ensure that the International Women's Day celebration continues and the activities and events that are conducted are in alignment with the state and the national sustainable development goals. So we, the Pohnpei Women Council, remains committed to ensuring that the delivery of the programs and events for International Women's Day have close relations and explicit links to results for the citizens of Pohnpei and in alignment with, like I said, the state and the national sustainable development goals. And I am proud to say that we have increasingly stepped up our delivery of results acknowledges through programs such as the International Women's Day. So over the years, the Pohnpei Women Council have helped the FSM and the state with hosting workshops and trainings to empower women, girls, in awareness raising on anti-human trafficking, advocate for victims of domestic violence, support campaign on gender equality, gender equity, on health, the NCD, climate change, environment, food security, preservation of traditional knowledges, among others. These are just some of the examples of the trainings or workshops that the Pohnpei Women Council, in partnership with other organizations, have done. And just to share some of the highlights and activities conducted by the Pohnpei Women Council within the recent years. We recently, last year, participated in the FSM Women Conference in Pohnpei. We represented some of the Pohnpei NGOs. And I would like to, at this time, say thank you. Kailangan we no kami yang kapayata o yang workshop, the conference, in FSM Women Conference. There were about 40 of us all together. For me, the highlight, what I was really proud of, was about 95% of participants from our NGO, Pohnpei Women Council, that attended Pohnpei were self-paid. We paid for our own way there. We were able to seek funding to provide for the accommodations. We had our own caterers. And that is to show, we wanted to show Pohnpei State, we wanted to show the FSM, since that was an FSM Women Conference, our support to the unity and for the women of the nation. We continue to provide shelter, continue to support victims of domestic violence here in Pohnpei. Now, although the office of the Pohnpei Women Council, we do have an office, although it does not meet the standards of a shelter. We are utilizing what we have in accommodating those in need. So I did say continuing to provide, because we have been supporting a family of victims who's been living with us for the past year and a half, almost 2 years. And it just shows the value of the importance of non-governmental organizations. Victims were referred to us by the state government without any financial support. Zero. And so with the assistance of support by individual member groups, we're able to continue that support until today. And the support that we provide are the daily needs, cash power. Of course, we provided the housing, clothing, food, and the like. IOM has also provided some support for victims as well. So without the support of our partners, we would not be able to deliver what we are tasked to do. Another accomplishment that we recently did, this is just within the last 2 years, we partnered with the FSM National Government and UNICEF in completing the state consultation for early childhood development project. This is a requirement under the Convention on Rights of the Child, which FSM is a signatory member of. However, this document, the policy on early childhood development has not been completed. So UNICEF reached out to the Pohnpei Women Council, and we were able to complete the consultation workshop for Pohnpei State. We do have the report for those who are interested. We have an electronic piece that if you give us your email address, you can sign up in the back. We'll be happy to share that report with you. I will be going in detail about some of the findings on March 8th because it's important that our state leaders are there to hear. Some of us were questioning about the result. Again, this is in partnership with the national government. And this is going to become a national policy on early childhood development. However, when Pohnpei Women Council launched this program, this project, we found that some of the recommendations that were addressed during our consultations were state-specific. And what we feared was if we just report out what is FSM national jurisdiction, that the needs of the state will be either eliminated or forgotten. So we presented our report as is with both state and national. And this morning we heard about the pledge by the governor to help the women. We heard the speech presentations by the two ambassadors. A lot of the recommendations that we received, findings from the early childhood development consultation, are very serious and urgent. As a result of the early childhood development, after we completed the first consultation, that is when we realized that Pohnpei State does not have maternity leave. So by the time we completed the third consultation, the state legislature passed the first ever maternity leave for the state of Pohnpei, which governor signed into law. So these are policies. We drive policies. So it's very important that we give a pat on the shoulder. We did very good. Now, we must have done a good job here in Pohnpei that UNICEF again reached out to the Pohnpei Women Council for us to help the Pohnpei women. So Berto and I went to Pohnpei and helped with the Pohnpei Women's Action Plan for the early childhood development policy. We completed that. We have been conducting the International Women's Day events since a decade ago. And over the years, we've learned, we have improved, and workshops such as this have now been integrated, implemented, injected into our programs. I can recall many years back when we hear criticism, complaints by the public, men especially, saying, is there anything else that the Pohnpei women can do aside from dancing? So, ladies and gentlemen, those who complain, please, if you are hearing me live, please join us. We are at the Tuna Commission. We will be here until Thursday, going through so many items on the agenda. And since we have time, I will actually go through the entire agenda for the record. Additionally, celebration of International Women's Day is not just the dancing or the workshop. It's really in celebration, and that I stated in my earlier statement. But here's one thing that I would say in defending this dancing thing, that there are, and many of you have heard me say this before, there are 365 days in a year. One day, one, not 10, only one day is given to us women to not only dance, but you can dance your heart out. And this is to celebrate all the accomplishment, all the things that we have done within the 364 days. So all the women out there, the fisher women, the farmers, the mothers who stay home to help take care of the babies, those who stay home to support the husbands so that you empower our children, empower our families, empower our communities. Traditional women, those that make beautiful skirts. Every single, the religious, the church leaders, the traditional women, congratulations, we have marching to celebrate. So get your dancing shoes ready.
That was not loud enough.
In addition to the ECD, we also was able to complete the consultation workshop, again, in partnership with UNICEF, the child protection policy for the national government. We support the passage of the Pohnpei State Family Protection Act, and as I stated earlier, support the passage of the State Maternity Act. Some projects, many projects that we have received last year or the year before, we were fortunate to receive $38,000 from US aid. And this is for the renovation of the Pohnpei Women Council traditional NAS. And I do want to state, I've heard some questions, people are asking me, why is it that your traditional NAS is located where it is and it's not the way it's built or where it is located does not mean what a NAS should be. And if you drive up at the Pohnpei Women's Center, it's in the back and it's facing toward the Catholic Christian school rather than facing the road. Here's the reason why. Because we are mindful of the fact that we will eventually have our office remodeled into a one-stop center, and this is for safety of victims, especially minor children. For safety of children, you do not want them playing in the front. We're located where it's a traffic place for schools. We have the high school, we have the Baptist school right next door, we have the SCA school. It's one of the busiest streets in town. You do not want visible the victims, the children especially, and the mothers to be in the front. So that's why we went in the back. And you notice there's also a 1,500-gallon water tank that was also part of the donation by USAID. So that NAS is being utilized for trainings. We can do weaving and all that. I must apologize. The reason we were not able to do our traditional knowledge this year at the NAS, because it was intended for that, is because we still have victims in the office. So we cannot have hundreds of women there when we're still housing, assisting the family of victims. We also were recipient of the FSM pilot project on solar air conditioning. So we're very fortunate. Pohnpei Women Council, being an NGO, we do not have funding to be paid for cash power. But we have 3 ACs that are installed. This is by the EU grant through the national government. And now we have, if you notice on the roof, there's solar. So the air conditioners that are there can be run during daytime through solar power, and it doesn't cost us anything. We were also very fortunate to be the recipient of the MSM-ADB COVID-19 Community Grant. And we were very efficient in helping the state of Pohnpei meet the threshold of the vaccination, COVID vaccination shots. That the threshold was supposed to be, what, 70%? I think we exceeded, we went up to 80-some%. So that's also very good. So thank you to the Nursing Association. What we did was we were able to get some cash power or calling cards. We gave those to the hospital. So for anyone who comes to the hospital must have a vaccination, get vaccinated. And if you do get vaccinated, you will get a card of a choice, whether you can get the cash power, you can get the calling cards. So we're very happy to say that we were part of that campaign, and the Pohnpei State did met the threshold about 70% of total population or the residents to get vaccinated. Last year, Pohnpei State awarded the Pohnpei Women Council as the NCD champion. So I would like to say congratulations to Pohnpei Women Council. We are the recipient, the champion of the non-communicable diseases by the state of Pohnpei last year. I was not there, but Vernon was there and some of our medical staff. So thank you to the groups, everyone that went out in the community to do outreach on NCD awareness. During the COVID period, there were some white sheets that were in the Pohnpei Women Council. Those were donated to us by the Achuda Foundation. So officers of the council decided, because the hospital was overloaded with patients during COVID, and there was a need for sheets, we donated over 113. I was saying 100, but I think Burnham said there were all nearly 200 sheets to the emergency room of the hospital and the maternal ward. So again, thank you to maternity ward and emergency. Every year, like we did on Friday, I would like to again thank all the groups that helped with the first that attended the fellowship service at the Nono Momotso, or the Protestant church in Colonia. This is in celebration or in honor of World Day of Prayer. So that was held in the morning, and in the afternoon, all the Pohnpei women donated bags of rice and chicken that were distributed, some to the Pohnpei State Hospital, some to the Genesis Clinic, and some went to the Pohnpei State Jail. So, Kananganan Puidendia, thank you to the group. If you recall, just last year, there was a family from Kichi. I believe there were 11 of them. And also a young couple from Soquets who suffered from the natural disaster. There was a strong wind that hit the island. The family in Kichi, some of them, maybe 6 or 7, ended up in the hospital with broken legs and arms. The trees fell on their house. There were minor children involved, and they lost everything. The family in Soquets, their house got burned down, and it's unknown what the cause of the fire was, but they also lost everything. So thank you again to all the women, families who donated. We had organizations. When we made that announcement, it wasn't just the Pohnpei Women Council. We had residents of Pohnpei that donated clothing, household goods, food, and there were I was in charge of the delivery to the site in Kichi. The family from Kichi live up on the mountain, so we understand the challenge in getting everything up, all the way up to the top of the mountain. But there were six truckloads of items that were delivered to them in Kichi. So, although we did not receive anything in writing, but they were very grateful. They sent their big kalahan to the Pohnpei Women Council. So, I really would like to, at this time, thank each and everyone who helped in providing the need, especially at that emergency time, urgent need. When disaster hits, it's really just word of mouth. We would request assistance. We cannot be waiting for the legislature or for the governor to approve, to meet for session to approve whether to give funding to these victims. But this is the power of women. What we did was we made the announcement, asked if people could just donate, and there were tons of stuff that were brought in. Sometimes you may think that it is maybe items that is not needed at your house, but for some others, this may be their treasure. So we were able to even get some books. There were children involved, so some coloring books, we got some crayons, reading materials. We continue to partner with the national and the state government, the UNICEF, IOM, embassies, the World Bank, PMU, ADB, these organizations, SBC, on gender-based violence workshops, awareness raisings on domestic violence. This is continuing, and we continue to ask our partners to please don't give up on us. We will continue to partner with you, and this is the one good thing about the Pohnpei Women Council is everything we do here is free. None of us are paid to do this except maybe a few from the social affairs offices. But the work that we do is volunteer. It's from the heart. And I believe that that is why it's very successful. In terms of building capacity, we continue to attend conferences and workshops on domestic violence, gender-based, gender equality, gender equity, empowerment, and the like. On Thursday, this week, Thursday on the schedule, if it has not changed, we will be hearing testimonies from some of the women groups who were selected by the Micronesian Conservation Trust and the Nature Conservancy on this pilot project on community grant or climate change resilient projects. So we will be hearing from them. They will be showcasing the best practices, the challenges that they have or they encounter. And I'm not sure whether they have requested, special requests, that they be trained on how to do PowerPoint presentations. We kindly asked the MCT and TNC if they could help with that. So I hope that they are ready for it. We have a projector here. Your presentations can be in English, can be in Pohnpei, in Goshayan, whatever language you feel comfortable doing. And it'll be an honor for us to watch you do your presentation. So that's part of the training that we are going through, is to build capacity, as I said. So, and we ask for those who are keen and are experts in the trainers and experts in the PowerPoint presentation, please stick around on Thursday. We will need your help. So that is the report of, in summary, what the Pohnpei Women Council has done. for the past 2 years. This morning, I reported on the strategic action plan. I would like also at this time to thank, where is she? Lucille, are you still in the house?
Yes.
Can you stand, please? Can you guys? Lucille Apis Opera has volunteered her time to help with Pohnpei State's 5-year strategic action plan. So we completed them, at least the action plan is being compiled. It's in its draft form, but on the program, I believe, maybe Thursday, it's on the program where Lucille and her team will be presenting the outcome of the strategic action plan. So we're very thankful to Lucille for the help that she provided. So we are, as I said, we're running ahead of schedule, but I do have few prizes. And you're ready? I will ask a question, several questions. This is stemming from our strategic action plan to Saturday, maybe also the church, to Saturday and today, this morning's presentation. If you know the answer, you have to quickly stand up, raise your hand. Now, who's in the back? Fan and Lillian, you also have to help me. The one that raises your hand first, and you must answer the question correctly. One wrong question, wait. We have prizes ready. Now, this first question, anyone working for a UN organization is disqualified to join. That's it. Ready? Ready. Who can tell us what does, or name the UN convention that deals with children? That UN convention that Pohnpei State or FSM ratified that deals with children. And there is a group under human rights that dealt with human rights. Now I'm narrowing it down. That dealt with this issue during the strategic action plan. UN convention nagpagatan na yung committee strategic action plan. Is about Katawanta Eten convention na big 7. Nangayuni, kumwing. Almost. Or should we accept that? Yes. Convention on the Rights of the Child. Okay, ako kung check yung kung mananalo ng tato kanan siya. Now, before I ask you to come on and dance. on what CRC stands for? Who can tell us what the Pohnpei Women Council acronym definition for CRC was? Fact in the back.
Charlie and Romeo.
I can't hear you.
Can I answer it?
Yeah.
Gab, Romeo, and Charlie.
Gap. They sound funny, but this is how serious that group was. And they were asking, what is that convention? And I said, it's CRC. So someone asked, no, she started to write T. I said, no, it's C as in Charlie, R as in Romeo, and Charlie. And someone said, no, it's cat, C as in cat, Romeo, and Charlie. Now, what I did not realize was some of us seriously thought that the name of that convention is cat, Romeo, and Charlie. So we're learning as we go along. And then yesterday at church, that was on Friday, I heard mumbling in the back, and also during Saturday, people were saying, okay, if you are Romeo, then I am Juliet. So Romeo, just for laughs. So that convention is Convention on Rights of the Child, CRC. Kaidekin, Cat, Romeo, and Charlie, Romeo, and Charlie. Wow. Wow, so it's who says only one can come up with acronyms. We also created our own. So it's Cat, Romeo, Charlie. It is. Now, next question. That was the right of the child. Who can name that convention that dealt with the women protection or yeah, I see Bertina stand up.
Yeah, it was wow. Sita.
Sita, and what does Charlie?
Foundation of elimination and women and development.
Not
Okay.
Sita, C-E-T-A-W. Okay, what is it? What does C mean? Convention on
eliminating
of D. Forms of
Woman is the last. It's okay. Guys, I share this.
You already got it right. Here.
Okay.
Your turn is up, sorry. Yes. No, you already won. There are two compromises. There was one here in the front. Okay. Yes. CEDAW. Convention on Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. Whoa, now Bench Bill International Day of Prayer. Yang already o diyan na lang kang disqualified. Yang already First name, last name. Bewia Soon Kawait. Soon Kawait. Raise your hand. None. Go away. Stop. Project develop or manage. Spanish call. How many groups participated on that traditional knowledge day? Those who already won, thank you. We respect you. Thank you. Go away. Dua. Nine groups participated. Kalangan. All mga child rappers is pagkapachawanda first name or last name. So, all na niwa. Yapo ka rin?
What's your name, please? What's your name, please? Yeah?
Last question for the morning before we take a short break before we break for lunch. First Lady, you are disqualified from answering this question.
I want to jump up all the time.
What is the middle name of our Pohnpei State Governor? Raise your hand. Amen. Katanki. Ate. Pohnpei First Lady? I should have disqualified any women from but it's okay. We're grateful, so thank you all for the great answers. Remember the cat, Romeo and Charlie? We're still trying to find who the Juliet would be. Lunch is here. And the blessing this morning also covered the morning, afternoon tea, and lunch. We will break for 1 hour. Our next presenter will be here at 1 o'clock. So, kalangan, and we'll see you in an hour. Please join us for lunch. Kalangan.
Kalangan. mas piti-piti. Vai sai no ar do corpo. Eu, Tatiana, eu. Piti-piti. Malu. Tatiana. Yayo. Walu. Sore walu.
Ada langsung tak mau baca.
Walu.
Senator Ricky Card. Soja, saan mo may maasin o DJ? May mo yan semua. Yan to. Speaker. Alam.
Anak, kalanganan Presidente Pohnpei Women Council ko hindi kami magiging semua meron ka atas ikan o dia mabalikan natin si Ricky Moniman kadai pagi wow dia beberapa yang dia lakukan ini Pohnpei sama dengan First Lady President so officer kan Pohnpei Women Council o officer kan kami dulu di meron na umiyaga. Coba corona ay iso matagal ibigyan. Naglang kaibigan na sa bagay. Alisin ko meron siya ng so government. Bago ito kami rin sport pala ng government. Nansa ko ng may katawag. Ia riskan dengan tahun legislature dan PPP dan pemai kawin. Saat ini proses menerima ia nanti masyarakat bulan proses terus kejadian kami ada kejadian sampai eomen proses terima. Kajian kemarin proses terima
Langit we are Morori or bonus as a party contribution in the on a Kirtan by way, Kirtan and Bosanakan, Malay, Kirtan and Canadian. Kamelida, you met Kirtan by way, not 10%. Rio Danet, Penyan, we have been years of days of money. And then, Yakan, the person, Yaman, Yas of our when any person, the evidence, Sanamawa, you don't compare the Kirtan by and one of them. Be a question what plan would take a letter of money for me. After you, my master support to say, Nanti pasukan itu wiriawan wiyakila rata sampai modaliti. Kali saya cuma itu kan pergi. Saya sudah bangai kemana-mana sama presiden buat. Nah, kemarin apa? Presiden buat token. Kemarin apa membahas presiden buat sudah manut. Kalau mengelar kata bergerak. Presiden buat biawi, esensial dan pasang ini dan itu. Agreement mainan kamera do, walaupun presiden buat sampai pemain. Masuk ke sama kawin, presiden buat sudah pamir aja. Agreement kamera do, kabin bukan sampai pemain itu orang tersebut buat. Kapan pasang do. Buang kamu dan buat yang ada bahan apa saja apa ini sen ada dengan program yang apa di education quality government dan tahan kerjasama kerja tentu banyak pegawai dan tetapan pegawai itu. Ia bosannya mobil kejadian yang biasa. Bosannya mana ni? Bosannya purailah, bagi kawin berbiaya isang nono kan kawal simpen ini kan cuma melek pupus kan. Ni asal liya banget ni. Nanti mereka bukan bosannya sang mas pada sudah sabun wing riau di meja di yon kampan di awal walis. Lalu sama ada yang kosan semua kosan buat kabung ber di tanggulnya nanti kita main. Saya main tetap. Bil area government and cover authority. Presiden buat weda, sebab ya, presiden juga government bantu sekali. Presiden buat weda, Julai bahagian, jika yang kamal, Juran dua set, orang kasih. Ada yang menyukai kapal juga, dan yang so baik nak asuh. Bina government dia major dia government serius betul anonos karya dan area kawin dan bersama apa kan dia kembali kita buat seri dari dan kosan itu ada pada mana dia kawin di job dia apa yang kembali bantu Bil yang kapal yang bang seri bangun kapal jangan mati alio kapal berikan. Nanti kau sudah bisa pagi sama kapal. Pada yang kau sudah bila pagi kapal kan kegiatan seri berangkat anti dan men kapal sudah mencak. Kak ada ikan koros ben anak-anak di awang serai. Biar nanti pada kosan dan kau men dengan kau lau mesti jual kapal pagi tetap kau tidak. Oh sana aja betul. Dari ada kosan dan todo, memang pergi wan, pergi tanah mai tetap. Kami ada dan workshop kan, kali kan kampung baru itu, kampung kas-kas leda. Iran kampung bukan. Oh, dan mas baru celebration di mana ya? Kesepuan sama, kesepuan bukan tahun berdiri macam yang kita tahu, kita tahu. Mungkin kita tahu kalau mereka buat karena duit yang ada. Jodoh kerjaan mereka sangat terang, macam kita tahu kita main mobil di tahun berdiri. Mobil sudah kasih, dia saya sebut apa dulu. Main kecil naik apa mana, bangga dia. Kalau buat kesembuhan sama yang tetap semua nak buat. Awal biar buat, selalu ada sama kawin. Masakan anak-anak kamu orang ada orang kosan berben tetap ini, berben seri. Oh, berben buka kan koras, meli bagi Pohnpei, asal kau nak berenang. Ayo pasal cerita bangun lagi. Pasal main jual beli dia orang mana. Masa depan, dia tu buka depan pada yang main. Pada yang nanti tahu kan main kau itu. Iman kau tu speaker, language, oh legislative speaker, kesempat gitu. Oh kasih, murid mas baru. Dia mas baru sudah kawasan sampai pada itu. Dia spend atau mau mereka biar tahu. Oh ada, dan biaya sama pada langsung kau itu kan pasangan mau ada bagi bosan net, orang buat kerja way mau dia. Apa ini betul memang dia di speaker. Ya, cabut mau kan jadi kayak kapur muda masuk main, elok masuk pada kamu yang radio mana, dia tu tahu kamu mana, ini tu asal, pergi dia mau mana letih itu tu yawi, tahu mau bang. Kalangan orang baik pergi ada baca siapa nanti yang ikan bersaudara dengan orang siapa nanti yang baca sama orang bukan gaya dengan baca speaker mereka berutul Islam membiasakan benar sansal pada tuan sama dari first lady orang memberi instruksi koyak dan dia yang mereka kau juga benar bisa mengamalkan. Ay, ang saya. Pwede pa doon pergi mo sa mga paduan doon. Kalangan
Kalangan itu, ay semua nak miet diren kaya na mo mepit. Taman lugnasan no mepit legislature mepit funding sa legislature way na semua. Nasa wajay na bro yang kecil yang jual kapsul.
Bagi dia bagaimana funding. Jadi kita kalau begini, jalan nabi wan berkatun, iwan berkatun, iwan berkatun. Orang bintang pasal itu etela. Sesuatu yang kurang kebenaran tak. Apa ni nubuya pen kata sedikit. Nabi pun tidak. Dia kumai, dosen itu sedikit. Mereka kaitan dengan nasa kumai lakon. Media, dosen itu berdoa. Korea para Paris, Robin, Pohnpei International Women's Day, and getting later. Nah, kalau dunia sangat jauh sekali kepada
kailangan din pwede speaker o legislature ka mucho maliit. Ako yung bilang sa mga kuya William Social Affairs medyo ikaw pa Joan, First Lady, pinulmulian ka na. Ikaw kuya, i-repagpag yun. Kaya ka kuya, kuya na annual requirement yung Office in Social Affairs. That quarters budget niya away man patromano budget, annual budget, operations, may kabajayan, where you all run and lead. Where they are, sa they are kapag. Where you have yana, Pohnpei State Legal Holiday, you mentioned. Ay, sucho ko na NGO yun, pagpagi sawas. Pwede meron na Mount Tajayban, follow tama ko na, Mount government ban, GMK, akchayla sawas. Area, bueno, ya iba kasi po na ako dyan, as a medbagi where the administration cup, anikat na the social affairs, the budget ka na kau na, ipo'y patrawan may social affairs, kung kawag kayo siya pwede yun, medikay lab o disability, bilyan patrawan ng Pohnpei social affairs. Awang mepit International Women's Day, pong metu basan niya tao. May kay legislature ko, chumchumki 10,000. Ang kaksansan na 10,000, then you emuin met emelap. Rane, magjay spend 2,000 on a catering. Aranjan mau, magjay chapta, nang we kajanahar. Area when kaso on iwan budget masa kau na bata ki kajuan no ofisin kadna mebili na legislature 10,000 when apali medame sakachay run quarters na ki renting dento ser chepe pilyang kana pinagnoso ya jay bana pali reso peti na malaman na kantachen jay sangat ni strategic action plan patrol. Kailangan no sawa-sawan niya betuan ni run strategic action plan kailangan na Department of Public Health State. Run riyawo iran apali. Pinwasaw venue niya rin kajuwanta and such waypoint. Nan-noso, nan Spanish Wall, sawas memia, kolonya town, kajuwanta chuno, actually na wali 10 to 0, so ang kalangan ng social affairs, niya sawas meron niyang kajuwanta. Then cash power, people be women council no. Riyamiye, someone expense kayo na sa wali. Mepileo raso, ajay bajan niya nadam kan, kalangan no, jo mechay niya. Tamang jay kachkita, rano, mesa wasa imon muni Genesis o kalaput, pinjo mechay mo ka, volunteer. Miso kasipin na na po ito. Ajagta ranan, kajola workshop kan, sa pagpag-engage dito man Women Council. Sa mga officer ka, iya, ko, nandiyan, nuwet kap, pon. Nagay sabihin kilbasun kita. Tugtog ni Obiskat, iralang kap sawas. Pula na to, match, upin ningay, mamiya, senjiyo makamanamanta. Saya kincha senjiyo malalato. Apsa ang jojo, anani yung puy-puy-ta. Sa napalian na on conference match. Miya business, may anana, and puy-puy-ti mo na rin ang katuwan na sawas. Ariya sa puy-puy, anso, bali, bak jojo, sa rinanjiya mo na kapos ang pinapalian. Masabaya mo, kaya mo miya, sa wasa, sa being real person, which takap bali. Ariya, iba kang miuyaw sa akin ang gar, tayo ba ito lahat mo na ito. Ariya, looks to be mga ganyan mo, okay. Ariya, iwo mo sawas na miya, wala dyan breakage, iwo kon mo women council, sa kaka dyan kakilaw sa, iwan ang sa kaka na as iba na white na doon, as conservative as we can. 10,000 na i-check, mas ready ba ka na hotela, pinmo, ako yung isawas, besang kalikat, kali jojo, kali kayo office organization ka, pero ka tuwan in-kind contribution, kahit din cash. Dari arabani no kita no kay sa kanapali, morning tea, the afternoon tea, then lunch. Dari isang mo, miya bilisyo, basta kilala niya office na buwaki, melka G9, tas sabi so wasn't damaged, niya no buwaki, medyo may isa mo. Pero sa masawas kasi yun ang kapungki. Kung masoche, galup ko, akan siya puwita. Ay kami na naman, pwede, eu pala na niya, isang sawas ka upis po ko, so siya may bigasa. Meron sawas, raman sawas. When I saw Mao, someone upis in Micronesian Conservation Trust, with the Nature Conservancy, TNC. Ipuin na sawas ki project yung na puin ASAP kayo pilot project ko. Right, inukita, maramana ko di yung run. At bikapo mo nga right, kung yung miya, wili ang MCT na yan. Kacho match. Nisocho ko, po, kung kacho wantan po. FSML, pinmenyang sawas. Miya, TCNI, the Asian Development Plan, kapan, iray yung TCNI, FSM, pinmenyang sawas. Asa nga din kain contribution kan, tuna commission, kachawanta wasawach, ni Soisay, so chala nilok ko yung may kasawas ka. FSM Development Bank, chalakit, o Congresswoman Marilyn Apelo, Pinchalaki. Area. So when sawas niya, isang doctor at the Congresswoman no, Chendran. Kita ko masabato wanda layo, HR when sawas sa niya tayo na sawas sa white sa banners ko. Then area iwan kasocho pon besanan siya ko kakapani sa matay week kasampuan mo. Awang sa Majay program, bali sa was Senator, the President, and Pohnpei people with disability, relevant sa Paliman, Pichualan, Kiyanan, Joror, Pagmangki, Magwerki, Biya kami sa datalayo ng Revenue, ay Pagmangki na siya kakakwat niya, Pachay Roundwatch, ay naliso, nakaklakap ng tali. Management to where public safety, where government, at saka kasaw ang lang. Ipatungwanta na may isa mo, may saka flexible ang program at saka kapagin. Saka na yung mga presenters ka, nakangkap, nita mong nakap, terang what I and government yo salat na kanya. Ang subset Renato Canano Senator Card o William mo lang ko never said pato ya rich. Ye presentation na pato one access to justice. Even bagi National Justice Ombudsman then or no ko Melina never said John and Peter. Pato tanto John kiyang iyo na bolopon.
David Sansangawan said, what is justice? Concept of justice is translated in Pohnpei to mean ninduan matmatawan ko kung parang ituan asangan ka o wetyan. Manang isang enta, all people are treated equally and fairly under the law. Ucay lang kang buhangin na batsyawan. Nang walang bukong, danan. Again, Jai Puras, Jai treated equally. So, Jai Bilbil ke saman kalabatan, Jai Bilbil Jai dengan nyawasa, Jai Bilbil ke saman title tanam Jai, Raj kita bacawan, Jai saman Jai. Kosangan pana pali Jai Pungkan, isang barang ni enda bacawan, all people have the opportunity to present their case before the court. Email project what we have with us and this kapesa so this barangay pacula sa pacusali ng community ari ninduan ang sa leti agay siya bacawan na ako na yung kanya aray kung may pasyuan lang case ka aray tumutungkan na lumanong po ari ina sa sambin pasyuan na yan mas pagsalang ka maamit na pasyuan na unang po kong miya pagsalang ka hanggang sa usayong child niya sukan yung miya sulit ako kanya ang mga palaryaw unang po kong miya kung pagkawaw palaryaw. Masan salbahan daramas koros punya rekap dan mualat tekap kelong lagan pungkan dan mono. So isang mo kecuali all people are aware and are able to exercise their legal rights. Aramas koros dan muawabi yokat ketongi arai manaman and lagan pung. When we got San Zalan, Chay Punindi, Menandosan and Kusanedi, Ungan, Management, Aramas, Chay Bachuan, the Stairs of the Man Kilo, into one of Chay, Joe Ned. That screen na baca punjay ng sukses, kayong baitan dibaca waktu mengalami sebaca waktu puan tak kuya, men kos sebenarnya nan bunga saya sengkak belajar dia dalam kawasan ini kita. Secara masalah secili-cili mengenai bacaan dan asani presentation much sengkak belajar dia susung betul orang betul, ansukan dengan bacaan much. Dari discussion terus dengan mania sukses, kayong baitan, and how do we access justice? Yang mo na siya ibangkat aleti, kung naan po po ngayon punta. Kung karap, ito kung naan po kung naan. Arriba cinta jalan ka. Habis sesuai benda pantauan namanya on child community run. Ya dan momen kedanan miawi dami bang ko na yung mga mamiyad ay kaupaliyumi ng kapalungan ko ng dami bang kuyan ba sa nawaw American men tama ko sandi i-imiyanan Induan may kacuan naman Irawaj kacuan di buwan ka kuya Saya kena ngacay Amiran matmataw That's true Matmataw kan beda Cross man mo Emang lihat gusto mo daw ang page Main power page Niya pa someone Bila pa ko lang manatang mo Chay The way sa nakawa mo na diyan totoo nga naman masyuro. Kina? Kung wawagi yawasan ng mga kasyan at ulay niya tama kung kuya kumintaw Iya je, Pohnpei.
Kailangan muna dan doon pinto kay Malbawang kung kita rin muso ay matamasaw ka sawas, ika natin buhok, yung katrasan sawas, ika natin ulat buwang katro, setigan ka ng bawang. Tangin siya, utang itang suwang, isinagan magkabing ka na uyakya ka bawang pinili, namin ako nagparanta, natin kunin natin ang pinili, ika natin kami, siyangwe, sumasan po sa tatawin din ang government, utang suwang, wala wasan mo rin po. Kurang ka, korona, iya ay berkan dan ini ay Pohnpei na din kawin. Ika, kailangan.
Hindi kailangan. Pohnpei.
Kailangan. Mag-iasa ay pag-isasin ay kapatid sa kapatid mga kanilin. Kanila bakit kawin. Office yung may tuntatungan na tumiyaw sa sawas. Ito ko na yan, yung tumiyaw sawas lang mo, may
kailangan. Yung duwan, duras sa duman, sansayan, may kacuangan na malabas. Oros kaya, may pong, ikaw na talangan din, Chela yung kawin na dumiyan. Sansak-sang liyan kao. Kung sabang mas, hindi ka dumiyan sukset. Walang ko po, nawiya ka sa amin. Siya nag-ibara ng usan na naman kami. Narininduwa na namin na kuya ng totoo. Nagkakak, kung kang kakalungan mo kung tulog at sang liyan mo rin sa wasin, dirayan. So sa wasakan, kung ano mga siya ng naman is legal services. Legal services, they derive at ganyan. Sa usawas people, kung naman may nanapaway tato, may nagpunan na sa liyan may tanang may nagkakapal, tanang may mga biya ka awit umuay yawasan ngayon ang kasyo ay mga nakaksosi. Eh, office ko, iya office sa waso. Tinggal din sa ususin chat na rin malinaw na so kung
They can lift some of the requirements, so we don't have to go through the Department of Health at all times, or go through the government so that the government can submit our request. And by the end of the day, when it goes from one layer to another, deadlines have already passed, and or by the time we find out, the conference is already over. And this is speaking from experience. I've actually had incidents where Pohnpei Women Council was sort of given the green light that, oh, you will be going, please send us the points on what the presentations will be. Next thing we know, Department of Health, Social Affairs, went and I guess supposedly presented on behalf of MSM Women, and I don't know what they know about what Pohnpei Women Council does. Not a criticism, but it's a reality. And so, this is our request to you, coming from an NGO perspective. Let's work together, and let's make it easy. I mean, we're hearing a lot of grants available, but the grants are so little for 3,000, 7,000 to go through that process. We are all volunteers. We don't have the time for it. The other thing is, if you can help with the process of the grant writing, just write it on behalf of Pohnpei Women Council, that also will be helpful. That's another request that we're making. So, with that being said, any last final comments? Yeah.
With your last comment, I would also like to volunteer my help with any WHO grant that you guys can actually for your next International Women's Day. I can help you with drafting it, but you would have to submit it to Social Affairs and they can.
Thank you for that offer. You can start writing. Any others? Luke, Komi?
As long as you are making sure that you apply for it helps to outcome. And then as far as government and okay, we have registered organization. They can apply directly on grant. Unless they are partner or government can, yeah, somebody that's all you government. Yeah. Awareness and very important. And then, why the other way of people who know it, but it's a babasa. That's a plus. Bersama saja mungkin dia taruh dari government dalam sedikit kalau main So I asked our SPC partner, since the value partner doesn't make sense to apply for the grant. That kind of I imagine no organization is applying for your grant. We need to continue to work. The other thing, as the preeminent woman organization we have made let's take our examples with the other items. Since you're based here, it's good to learn about what's happening in the items. And the fact is, you're also best in your experience here. Wanted to learn and share our experiences. It doesn't make sense to have problems here. But I think we have to start in our backyard. So I ask that the best in this we will do the same. We need to match the values of the that will make it easier for us to keep the family.
Thank you, Luke, for those questions. We'll take note of those questions. For feedback, proposal grantees, I think that's one of the easiest proposal application that we can do for feedback. Please, we'll share the application and we'll have a look at it. I think they went through a lot of grant applications and they reviewed that application for feedback. It's very easy to fill as long as you understand your issue clearly on what you're trying to achieve. I think that's the part that you really need to achieve the issue. But we know those look and we discuss with the team on how to strengthen our SPC. It belongs to the government. SPC is owned by the government, the member county. So as long as the government is there, SPC will always tend to support our
Thank you, George Kanahan. Thank you for taking note of our requests, our needs. At the end of the day, we're all here to work, and that is to work together for the betterment of all the citizens. So let's try to work together to make it accessible to all the different. That being said, that concludes our workshop for today. It has been a long but very, very productive day. We hope to see you tomorrow. Registration begins at 8:30. We'll make sure the coffee is warm when you get here. Anangan o kasilin.